Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, and this week's episode is going to be a big one. We're going to be talking about our Brand of the Year winner for 2019, which was announced last week. As every other year we've done it, it was big, exciting, it was huge, it was hard to pick, especially for us, of course, with so many brands delivering so many good products from start to finish in 2019. It definitely came down to the smaller things, and there was one brand that just did it for us. But before we get into that, we're going to do our usual rundown of the most exciting stories shared from the past 7 days on the website, stack.com or stack3d.com. And to kick it all off, we're going to be talking about Muscle Farm. Last week we posted details on a new product, or a few details on a new product that's coming from the company, and it's actually going to be another snack, another food. Now, we've seen Muscle Farm kind of expand in this area quite a bit, to the point where it's now got like 4 different products on the market. You've got its Crisp Bar, the Rice Krispie style snack. You've got its original Combat Crunch. You've got the Organic Protein Bar. And there's the Protein Candies, and that was launched last year. And the Protein Candies was a big one for them because it was a step in a different direction. They weren't doing the typical bar format. It was, or even the typical 20 grams of protein or high protein. It was purely a moderate protein snack that kind of focused more on delivering great taste than high protein, but still tried to keep things light and low calorie. And that delivered. It was an incredibly great tasting snack. It almost tasted, for me, it tasted as close to M&M's as you're going to get, especially considering it had a lot more protein and a bit less sugar. Similar calories, but that's neither here or there, because the snack we're talking about now is a cheese-based snack. All we know at the moment is that it's called Cheddar Protein Crisps. There'll be a little bag, like a chip snack kind of thing. Each bag is going to have 14 grams of protein in total, and that's really all we know right now. To be honest, it kind of sounds similar, based on the few things we know, to F-Bomb's Keto Crunch, which is also a cheese-based snack, relatively high in protein with 10 grams per bag, and that one's available in just numerous flavors. And so more details on this will be shared very soon, I imagine, because from what we saw, the product is kind of seems ready or seems good to go, but more details on that soon. But it just basically looks like Muscle Farm is going to be continuing this push into functional. It's very similar to what Optimum did over the past couple of years. They've put a lot of effort into new snacks with the cakes. The cake bites. You've got the crisp in the UK and Europe. You've got their delicious marshmallow-like protein bar. They had RTDs in the UK and Europe as well. So it's basically much like Optimum, and then that's just putting, I guess, more focus on functional, which is cool, and it's definitely a hot category, so it does make sense. From protein snacks, we moved to a story that was actually kind of interesting, but definitely got a lot of people's attention last week, and it came from a beverage brand that's been around for forever, you could say, and that's Powerade. They announced last week two new products, one of which caught our attention more than the other, and it's actually Powerade's first new releases in more than 10 years, or more than a decade. And they announced Powerade Power Water and Powerade Ultra. Power Water wasn't the one that really got our attention. It was more the Powerade Ultra, which is, I guess, kind of like a more advanced version of their performance sports drink. It comes with BCAAs, 50% more electrolytes than the regular zero Powerade, and it has added creatine, so it kind of follows suit from the likes of Bang, which was kind of one of the first beverages I ever saw, at least carbonated, and with the BCAAs and the creatine in the mix. And so they've, I guess, mimicked that or taken on that, and it comes in 3 flavors. The brand doesn't list how much of BCAAs or how many BCAAs and creatine you get per drink, just that it's kind of in it, and then it's listed on the ingredients section on the back of the bottle. We go from Powerade to Optimum Nutrition, actually, and this is the last kind of brand we're going to talk about before diving into Brand of the Year. But this is a big one. So Optimum Nutrition last week launched 3 new products in GNC. Might have been before last week, but we popped up on our radar last week. There was a protein RTD, which is actually a gold standard whey protein RTD. So it's kind of a spin-off of their legendary, their classic, internationally, worldwide available gold standard whey. Features similar packaging, and yes, just kind of straight RTD. The macros are pretty typical. 24 grams of protein per 11 ounce shake with 6 to 7 grams of carbs, 2 grams of that sugar, 3.5 to 4.5 fat, and 150 to 160 calories. Now, those numbers do vary from flavor to flavor, although there is only 2 flavors available for that product at the moment, and they're both your standard taste with chocolate and vanilla. As mentioned, there are 2 other products, or 3 in total, for Optimum Nutrition. This was the RTD is one. The other 2 kind of spin-offs again, but more advanced spin-offs. And so there's Amino Energy Advanced and Gold Standard Pre-Advanced. Now, the Amino Energy Advanced, as you could probably guess by the name, is an advanced, version of the Amino Energy, one of their original long-running, very popular products. It takes that are the same kind of the exact same 5-gram blend of aminos that's in the original regular Amino Energy, and it combines it with a few extra ingredients to, give it that advanced angle. With most of those, 2 of those 3 added ingredients being for focus. So you get the 5 grams of aminos, which again is the same weight as you get in Amino Energy, and that blend is made up of the same ingredients in the same order as the original Amino Energy. There's then 100 milligrams of caffeine from various sources, much like a regular Amino Energy, and then you have the new additions, which is 100 milligrams of alpha GPC, 100 milligrams of turmeric, and then 50 milligrams of cognizin. So it's basically like a focused, infused version, but basically just takes everything that is the original and then adds these ingredients. So I guess if you're a fan of that original Amino Energy, and you kind of need some of that focus or would like the sound of it, give it a try. It's at GNC now. It does cost a little more than the regular Amino Energy, although by that I mean price per serving. The whole product altogether costs $29.99, but you only get 20 servings per tub, so not like the regular 30 in most supplements, including the original Amino Energy. And there are, I believe, 3 flavors to choose from: cherry berry, strawberry mango, and beach blast. Again, you can grab those at GNC. And the last product we saw from Optimum Nutrition last week, as mentioned, was Gold Standard Pre-Advanced. And as far as pre-workouts go, Optimum Nutrition did a pretty straightforward job on this one. It's not really complex formula. It's not really super advanced. It's not really, I guess you could say it's simple as such. It's just a mix of 6 common pre-workout features, all at pretty reliable doses. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I guess. You get the 5 grams of creatine monohydrate, so your standard dose. There's an electrolyte blend in there to help with hydration. You get caffeine at 300 milligrams, citrulline at 6 grams, and that's straight citrulline, so it's not citrulline malate. 3.2 grams of carnosine beta-alanine, and then lastly 1.2 grams of NO3T creatine nitrate. So you can check that out on the side. Just go to Stacked as usual, type in Optimum. You'll be able to see all of those products, and we've also got links to just being able to go straight and buy them from GNC. Again, that for those interested in the price on the Gold Standard Pre-Advanced, it's going to cost you $34.99, so kind of around that middle area, around that regular zone, and it's 20 full servings on that one, so much like the Amino Energy Advanced, and less like your more typical 30-serving products. And there are, I believe it's three flavors for the Gold Standard Pre-Advanced, just like the Amino Energy Advanced, with raspberry lime mojito, strawberry mango daiquiri, and berry blast. So those are the stories, just to summarize all the excitement that we shared on the site last week. And now we're going to dive into the brand of the year. And if you follow the site, you already know who won. And it was none other than Inspired, who we cannot say enough. We wrote a story summarizing everything the brand did in 2019, but it was just, they had an outstanding year. That was kind of, they started the year almost like every other year. You had a product here, you had a product there, and when they approached, I would say April, you started realizing that Inspired just seemed to be pushing really hard. Like typically we would see 3 to 4, maybe 5. Actually, I don't even think we've seen 5 products from them in a year. And to see 3 by like April, that they're pushing hard. And these weren't just your Devastates or flavors. These were entirely new products. We got a new version of Legend. We got a new protein powder which combined collagen with whey. There was also the greens, I think that was around about then, and then they had a multivitamin. So by the middle of the year, it was looking pretty solid that Inspired was just not coming to play in 2019. They were just coming to take it home, and we followed along in that second half of the year, and that's truly where Inspired, I guess, just made so much noise. That first half we got, the more non-traditional inspired products, and then that second half we got FSU, which we consider the best non-stim pre-workout, not for pumps but just for overall benefits with performance, endurance, and focus. And then you also got the Devastate BBD for Australia, the intense DMHA formula. Then you got Devastate worldwide. They also launched a new amino with all 9 EAAs to replace their BCAA. So this is all jam-packed into a year, to the point we could almost say they relaunched, but it was just a continuation of what they were already doing. And they just, Inspired they took it to another level, and they blew us away, and they did everything we look for brand of the year. For me, we admire and we like and we reward those brands that I guess give me more. If you have a brand that makes a top pre-workout and a top protein, and you go and give me a multivitamin and an amino, and I already respect the pre-workout and protein, then there's a good chance I'm going to buy those other things, because I respect the quality, and if they're making them, I have to think that they're going to be good. And you do your research and you dig in, and you're like, these products are pretty solid, pretty well rounded. And for me, it's those brands that expand and offer consumers more and give them more. And Inspired just did that. They released products that you could just add to your stack, that just made sense. You went from the collagen to the greens to multivitamins. So they were introducing these essentials and these products that just made sense for fans to get based on the last launch. And it was still had that premium Inspired twist and quality to it. And at the end of the year, you just look at everything they did, and it was, no one else kind of came close to the amount of effort, and considering this Inspired isn't overly big, it made a lot of noise, and it had a huge reach. And I mean, I was just, like I said, nothing but impressed, delivering the amount of products that they did with the unique formulas and the reliable ingredients, and it was great to see. Inspired really became a brand, and just a more mature, well-rounded, solid competitor. And up until 17, 18, Devastate was kind of what Inspired was known for, and it's a tough game to keep trying to beat the pre-workout and trying to win that category. And we were nothing but impressed. As we mentioned in our story, they did what we look for. They did what I like to see, and that's why they took it home. And there was no one else who kind of had a year. There were people that did things on a similar level in terms of like excitement and entertainment and interest and quality and creativity, but just no one did anything like what Inspired did for us to kind of, like I said, they were the clear winner. And there are a few other people that mentioned it, and it's just a solid brand, and you just can't help but be excited for 2020, because they've not left. They're not just stopping there. They've already in talks of more products, more supplements. You still got the new version of their Fat Burner Ember coming, and that was already a solid supplement. And Inspired, being that they are you got another pre-workout at least in the works, and there's so many categories still to touch. I mean, you got Focus, you got a full-on pump supplement, even though they may not be doing that. It's a brand that we're excited about, and more than deserved our brand of the year for 2019. We actually are going to be getting on a podcast interview episode with Chris Waldron from Inspired, and that will be up, and we'll just basically going back and forth and talking about what they did, what they have, what's coming, and that should be a great episode. And again, as always, just go to the site stack.com, stack3d.com, and you can type in Inspired. That story will pop up, and you'll better go for a good read and just what we did, go over and see everything the brand just smashed out in 2019. But for this week's episode, that is it. Again, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to having you back next week.